Hello, this is Judy from Juvenalis to and Travel. Welcome back again. So today I'm going to talk about the benefits of having an Emirates ID, or the importance of having an Emirates ID. As you know, there is this upcoming amnesty from the 1st of September, of which UAE is giving people chances to change their visa status. Maybe you didn't have a correct document, you didn't have the you are here in UAE illegally, but you can be able to change your status to have an Emirates ID or to have a visit visa. Or else you can be able to exit to your home country without paying any fines, but you will have to get yourself a travel ticket. Still, we are not sure about the full information of how it's going to be applied or how it's going to work. But all we know is that there is upcoming amnesty from the 1st of September. So we are waiting for the final announcement, which might be all before the 1st of September. So today I'm going to talk about some of the benefits of having an Emirates ID. So number one, when you have an Emirates ID, you will be considered as a resident who is here in UAE. That is United Arab Emirates. Okay, and number two, you can have a chance to open a bank account. So once you have a visit visa, maybe you are a tourist here in UAE and your visa expires maybe within 2 months, 1 month or 3 months, you can be able to change your visit visa to another 2 months or 3 months. Okay, but you cannot be able to have a bank account. But once you have an Emirates ID, that's meaning you have a residence visa, which is 2 years, you can be able to open a bank account, which you can do some savings, or you are able to transfer money to someone else. Something else, you can register a SIM card. In this case, it doesn't mean if you have a visit visa you cannot be able to register a SIM card. That is a mobile SIM card. You can be able to register, but you will keep on updating it depending on the validity of your visa. So if you were given a SIM card or you got a SIM card using your 1 month visit visa, once the 1 month visa expires, then the card automatic expires. But you can activate it again, but you need to visit the do shop or the Etisalat shop for them to activate it again. But if you have a Emirates ID, at least you will have 2 years to use your SIM card. Something else, if you have the Emirates ID, you can be able to travel to some countries which are visa free if you are in UAE. Some of these countries like Japan, Georgia, and also Thailand. These are some of the countries, but there is still more. It's only that if you have an Emirates ID, you can be able to go to these countries without requiring a visa. That means a visa free, but there is other required documents you can check on their embassy. Something else is that you can be able to deposit money to the bank or to deposit money using the ATM machine. For example, if you want to pay something or you want to send money to someone using a bank, you can be able to deposit the money to the ATM if you have an Emirates ID. This is also a benefit. Something else is that you can be able to get a health insurance. As you know, if you are in UAE, you cannot be treated if you don't have a health insurance, of which for you to acquire a health insurance, you have to have Emirates ID and you have to have a visit, you have to have a residence visa. Okay? As you know, it's very expensive for you to pay full payment if you don't have an insurance. But if you have insurance, you pay a certain percentage. Okay, something else, you can own a property in Dubai if you have a residence visa or if you have an Emirates ID. In this case, maybe we are able to rent a property or to rent maybe a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom where you can be able to settle with your family. If you don't have an Emirates ID and if you don't have a residence visa, in this case you are not able to own a property or to rent a property. Maybe you ask your friend or you just stay for a while or you stay under someone else. Something else, when you have a Emirates ID, meaning you have a residence visa, right? In this case, you can be able to sponsor your family. You can be able to sponsor your wife or your husband and kids, your mother-in-law or father-in-law. In this case, you can be able to stay with them here in UAE if you have a residence visa and if you have an Emirates ID. This is another benefit of having an Emirates ID. But if you have a visit visa, which people call it a tourist visa, in this case, you cannot be able to sponsor your family in the UAE. Something else is like you can be able to acquire a driving license. In this case, if you come here in UAE and you decide to stay here as a tourist, you can change your visa to residence visa. As you know, many people come to find a job here, some come to visit. So for those coming to find a job, once you get your Emirates ID and your residence visa, you can be able to acquire a driving license by going for driving classes or driving course. And then something else is, if you have Emirates ID, you can also be able to acquire to register a vehicle. You can be able to buy a car and then you can be able to be driving yourself or driving your family around, if only if you have Emirates ID. If you have a visit visa, you cannot be able to register a car, meaning you cannot be able to buy a car. And also, if you have a visit visa, you cannot register to do driving classes or driving course. Okay, something else, if you're here in UAE and you have a Emirates ID, another benefit is you can be able to register your kids to school. If you decide to settle here in UAE and you don't have Emirates ID, in this case you cannot be able to register your kids to school. But if you have Emirates ID, you can be able to register your kids and they can learn here in UAE. As you know, in UAE we have different curriculum, like we have the Arabic curriculum, we have the English, we have the British, American, depends on which one is good for you. So this is another benefit of having Emirates ID, meaning you can be able to settle here in your with your family and the kids can be able to school here in UAE. Something else is that you can be able to apply for a loan. For example, you have Emirates ID and you have a bank account. You can visit the bank and they can explain to you the terms and conditions needed for you to acquire to get a loan. A loan is good. You can maybe invest in one way or another, or you can do something that you wanted to do. But if you don't have an Emirates ID, again in this case, you cannot be able to acquire a loan. This is also another benefit of having a Emirates ID. And then something else is that you can be able to get the government services, most of the government services, if you have Emirates ID. In this case, as I said, you will be considered as a resident, then hence you can be able to get the government services. And then last and not least, if you have Emirates ID, you can be able to use the smart gate or use the e-gate when you're traveling using the UAE airport. For instance, if you're coming from a home vacation, you're coming from a different country, when you arrive in Dubai airport, it's not a must you queue for them to check your documents, if they are valid, to check your passport. You just scan your passport and then you will be able to enter. So in this case, that is another benefit of having an Emirates ID. As you know, the main reason is why I did this video, it's because, you know, there is this upcoming amnesty of people who didn't have the correct document and they would like to have the Emirates ID. That's why I explained some of the benefits of having Emirates ID when you are here in UAE. And also something else, for those who keep on changing their visit visa. For example, you had 2 months visa, when it finishes again, you need to if you decide to stay here longer, again you will need to do another visa change, of which is little bit tiresome, time consuming, because you have to exit from one country to another. Most of the countries which people exit, it's Kuwait, Oman, Bahrain, Doha, some of the neighboring countries. You have to wake up very early in the morning, or maybe if you get the during the day flight, then you will have to come very late at night, of which sometime you cannot be able to access the metro. Again, you need to again you need to pay a taxi. So in this case it's costly, but if you have Emirates ID, you will be able to stay 2 years without any stress of thinking how to renew your visa or any stress of that kind. So, and then again, something else I forgot to mention, if you have an Emirates ID, you can be able to visit your home country without any stress and come back, provided you didn't stay out of the country for more than 6 months. If you want to visit your family, you go there, and maybe another next week again you want to visit again, it's okay, you can visit, but don't stay more than 6 months. Well, you know, if you have a tourist visa, once you exit, that visa is closed. Again, you will need to apply another visa to enter UAE. That is some of the benefits, but there is more benefit of having the Emirates ID. For more information, you can visit us. We are located in Deira City Center Metro Station. Behind Day to Day, you see Centurion Star Building, Block B, 7th floor, V727. And also we have an office in Nairobi, Kenya, Westlands, Madona House. Thank you.